Uh, uh, I'm out here messing around with the dogs, playing in the yard. Uh, got the fence finished up back there, or up there at the front of the yard. But messing with the dogs. Sorry about that. Had to deal with dogs, but just wanted to do a quick little video here. Because I've been running into a lot of the same thing lately. You know, people wanting to alter facts of things and then say that you're wrong based on things that they made up themselves. Case in point, Wikipedia. Everybody goes to Wikipedia for all their info needs, and they praise it like crazy, like, oh, Wikipedia says this, Wikipedia says that. It has to be true because it was on Wikipedia. Well, there's a guy on Wikipedia. His name is Brian Duke, or B. Duke, as his screen name goes. He enjoys falsifying information, and almost everything that he says is against the United States. Basically, he says that the United States is nothing but Nazis. He's edited pages to say that the Republican Party is Nazis. He's edited the Hitler and Nazi pages to say that they were Republicans. There's a lot of stuff that he's edited, and to top it off, he created a page about the Boy Scouts of America, and he edited the entire page to basically say that the Boy Scouts of America was created by men to rape little boys. He says on the page, you know, the entire Boy Scouts of America thing is all child molesters and gay bashers, and that you have to pledge allegiance to some higher race thing. It's really bad, and I got banned from editing Wikipedia. They actually gave me a IP address ban for editing the stuff and putting in notations that it is his bias opinion that he's putting in here. And I got hit with I think it was 4 bans total, and I was literally insulted by several members of their moderators, and they're like, you cannot edit any of these pages without source information. You can't. It's against the rules. You cannot do that. And then when I pointed out that he has no sources, the sources that he has include the National Enquirer, the Onion, and the person that filed a lawsuit against the Boy Scouts of America for not letting them in because they not only were transgender, but they also had like 4 counts of child abduction and rape, and they had just got out of prison. Like, they filed a lawsuit because the Boy Scouts wouldn't let them be a scoutmaster, but the person like lost the lawsuit and then wrote a book about it. Yeah, he used that information, that link, to prove that the Boy Scouts of America were some child raping sexists. Well, he in the past year, he's edited 8,000 plus pages to say strictly racist and hateful things against the United States. This man is a British man, but he lives in Australia, and he used to be some college professor in Britain somewhere, and he taught college students about social studies and whatnot. Yeah, that's the kind of guy that people listen to. I looked this asshole up, and he got fired because he was indoctrinating children. He literally makes up all this shit, and then gets a cult following. And when I was pointing this stuff out, they're like, "You have to have proof of this." I was like, "Look at his page. Look at his Wikipedia page. Oh, you're banned from talking. Boom, you're banned from commenting on this. Boom, you're banned from editing things." And then all of a sudden, they hit me with another ban and told me that I was no longer allowed to talk on my own page. I can have an account, but I cannot do anything with the account except for enter in and log into my account. Other than that, it's just log into the account and I'm done. And all these moderators are just jumping up to his defense, and they refuse to listen to anything I had to say. They refuse to look at his thing. They're like, he's got X amount of years doing this. He's moderated this many pages. He's made this many contributions. He's a better person than you. You just joined a month ago. Yeah, I just joined a month ago, but just because I joined a month ago doesn't mean that he is correct. I mean, two of his sources for some child molestation thing were The Onion and the National Enquirer. And I mean, he literally has a page that says that the Republican Party started Nazi Germany. And that's his whole thing. I mean, you look up Nazis and it says that they were Republicans. The fuck is that? Another thing that gets me is I was on Facebook. Armslist. It's that site where it's basically Craigslist, but for guns. They have a Facebook page. They made a post about Biden talking about shooting a shotgun up in the air. And I said, yeah, not only is that a felony, it's also deadly. And the Armslist people commented and said, shooting a gun up in the air isn't deadly. Yes, it is. Bullets come back down and they kill people. And it went on. Like, there was all these people commenting saying, that's not true. That's not how gravity works. That's not how what is it? Terminal velocity. They're like, that's not how it works. You can't have an object go up in the air and then come back down fast. And some guy even did the maximum terminal velocity of a human being skydiving is 120 miles an hour. And I literally looked it up. Yes, 120 miles an hour for a human being skydiving, but they're in free fall position, meaning their stomach is facing the ground. That's arms out, you're yay, like that. That's their terminal velocity for free fall. But when they're in a dive, head down, arms to their sides, penciled, and their head is facing down, or their feet are facing down, where they're straight up and down, their terminal velocity can reach over 400 miles an hour. That's why when you see all these people doing the super fast dives like that, they're hauling ass. And when you take into account that the person's body has 2 square foot, of surface area showing, where wind resistance, friction, all that slows the body down. Now, a bullet, on the other hand, doesn't have that because it's smaller. Yes, it's smaller, so it's lighter. Deal with it. But it's smaller, so it has less surface area. It increases speed. And you look up how many deaths happen due to it. I mean, hell, you can go online, and they have just in Rio or something like that. I think it was Rio. They had 25 deaths just last year from celebratory gunfire, shooting straight up in the air. Bullet come down like 4 or 5 blocks down and hit somebody in the head. 25 deaths. They had 118 injuries, total injuries that include the 25 deaths. But that was just one place. Add in the entire, country, and that number goes up. Now, Armslist commented saying, "You don't know what you're talking about. These bullets don't hurt people like that because we're talking about shotguns, not 223 or 556 or 762. We're talking about shotguns." And then I looked up, I went onto their website, looked up their choices for the top 5 home defense rounds. And the top 3 were 12 gauge slugs, double-aught buck, and number 1 buck. Terminal velocity, when you calculate the terminal velocity for those, you're talking between 400 and 500 miles an hour for the buck, and then for the slug, you're looking at about 700 miles an hour, and that's if it's the coned off slug with the rear stabilizer. Okay, now you're talking about an object this big around, falling at, say, 300 miles an hour, striking you in the head or arm or chest or something. And you're saying that it's just gonna, it's pages like this that really pissed me off. Because I laid out the whole thing, and then they comment saying, well, a 22 falling from that's shot up in the air comes back down, and its terminal velocity is only, I think it was like 8.22 miles an hour, and that's a 22, and it doesn't actually say how high that it fell from. You're only calculating its mass and its weight. That's all you're calculating. You're skipping out everything else. And because I called them out, they deleted my comment and they blocked me from commenting on their page. And then, to top it off, they then made a comment about my comment, which interesting thing is, 20 minutes before that happened, I commented, because they were saying a whole bunch of stuff and they were threatening to delete my comment. And I told them, okay, this is exactly what Democrats do. Democrats do this shit. They delete your comment. They counter your comment with a fake claim or a falsified information. Then they delete your comment. Then they insult you on said comment after making it so that you cannot comment anymore. That's exactly what they did. And that's exactly what Wikipedia did. Because Wikipedia, they're still sending me messages. I keep getting all these emails saying so-and-so commented on your thing, and then I go there, and then they're sitting there, if you want this, or if you want that, you have to do this, jump through these hoops. And if you play nice and you promise never to edit anything ever again, we will unblock you. And it's like, how can I do the unblock thing when you blocked me from doing anything? I can't, literally, they said, okay, follow this link and contact these people. Can't do that because I'm blocked. Oh, you can email this people. No, I'm not emailing nobody nothing. You wanna fake information, and you want to protect somebody putting out fake information, and you want to defend somebody falsifying your page that you want to keep real facts, then that's on you. Fuck those guys. And Armslist did the same fucking thing, and it's just sad that even people that say that they're for correct information and getting rid of the fake news, they still put up fake news. They still defend the fake news. But I'm gonna go back to playing with my fucking dogs.